Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to explore a Part 2 cue card. Describe a shop or store you often go to. You should say what shop it is, where it is, what it sells, and explain why you like it. We're going to listen to two model responses, one from Joseph and one from Blondie. After each response, I'll go over that answer and highlight some useful vocabulary and phrases that you can use in your own speaking. Here's Joseph.
There's this little menswear store I go to quite a lot called 917. It's close to the subway station near my apartment, so it's super convenient for me to just pop in after work. It's not a big chain. It's like a boutique that curates really clean, minimal, street casual pieces. Most of the stuff they sell is everyday clothing, hoodies, cargos, loose fit tees, and simple jackets in neutral colors. But the reason I like this place is that the quality is consistent and the silhouettes are on trend without being flashy, so I can look put together without looking like I'm trying too hard. They also focus on local emerging designers, so I feel like I'm supporting something more meaningful than fast fashion. Another reason I keep going is because the staff there actually have taste. They don't try to upsell you. They give honest styling advice. Sometimes they'll straight up say, nah, this cut doesn't suit your proportions. Try this instead. And I appreciate that because it feels like they care about how the outfit actually looks on me instead of just pushing sales. I go there maybe once a month, sometimes even when I don't strictly need anything. Just browsing new drops and seeing how they style outfits on the mannequins helps me upgrade my wardrobe slowly in a more intentional way. So that store has become my go-to place whenever I want to refresh my look.
That was Joseph. We'll go over his answer and highlight some vocabulary you can use in your own speaking. Joseph goes to a boutique called 917, which is conveniently located near his subway station. It's not a big chain, but a small shop with a curated selection of menswear. They sell everyday clothing like hoodies, cargo pants, which are casual pants with extra side pockets, t-shirts and simple jackets, all in neutral colours and minimal designs. He enjoys this shop for several reasons. First, the quality is consistent, and the silhouettes, or the shapes of the clothes on your body, are on trend without being flashy. This means he can look stylish without it feeling over the top or showy. Second, the staff give honest advice. They don't push you to buy things you don't need. Sometimes they'll even say, "This cut doesn't suit you. Try this instead." Finally, he goes there even when he doesn't strictly need anything, just to browse new items and see how the clothes are displayed on the mannequins. Over time, this helps him refine his wardrobe in a thoughtful, intentional way. So this store has become his go-to place whenever he wants to refresh his look. Let's look at some expressions Joseph uses that make his speaking sound natural and fluent. First, on trend without being flashy. This is a great way to describe something fashionable, but not over the top. You could use it for clothes, hairstyles, or even interior design. Next, emerging designers. This phrase signals that Joseph knows about the creative fashion world and supports new, local designers. Using terms like this adds depth to your answers. It shows more than just basic vocabulary. Finally, go-to place. This is a very natural, everyday expression meaning your favourite or usual spot. You can use it for anything. A cafe, a gym, a shop. Dropping phrases like this in part 2 makes your speaking sound more native and relaxed. Let's unpack some nouns that might be less familiar. Cargos. These are cargo pants with extra side pockets. They're practical and casual, perfect for everyday wear. Tees, simple t-shirts, nothing fancy, but essential for casual outfits. This is a very natural word to use in spoken English, silhouettes. This refers to the overall shape or outline of the clothes on your body. When describing fashion, talking about silhouettes makes your answer precise and professional. Mannequins. The store models that display outfits so you can see how the pieces look together. Mentioning them shows attention to detail. And in part 2, it's great to add small observations like this to enrich your answer. Using these words will help you describe shops and clothes in a more detailed and vivid way, which is exactly what examiners are looking for. Now let's move from fashion to stationery. Listen carefully to how Blondie describes her favourite shop.
One shop I frequent is a little independent stationery shop near my office called Journal House. It's on a quiet side street near the city library, so it's not the kind of place you'd just stumble across. You kind of have to know it exists. They mainly sell pens, notebooks, planners, and art-adjacent accessories, but it's not like a generic chain stationery store. Everything there is beautifully curated. Most of their notebooks are Japanese or Korean brands, the kind with that super smooth paper that even fountain pens don't bleed through. They also sell a lot of limited edition gel pens and brush markers, so every time I go in, there's always something new to look at. I like this shop for two main reasons. First, it genuinely sparks joy. Buying nice stationery feels like a tiny life upgrade. It makes you want to write more, journal more, and generally be more intentional. Second, the owner is extremely knowledgeable, and she gives personalised recommendations. For example, when I started testing out fountain pens, she actually let me try different nibs on sample paper, so I wouldn't waste money. So I go there about once every 2 weeks. Even if I don't actually buy anything, just browsing and touching the paper is oddly relaxing. I know that sounds weird, but it almost feels like therapy. And I think that's why I've kept going back for years.
That was a great response from Blondie. We'll go over her answer and point out some key expressions and words you can use too. Blondie's favourite shop is a small independent stationery store called Journal House. It's tucked away on a quiet street near the city library, so you wouldn't just stumble across it. You need to know it exists. The shop sells pens, notebooks, planners, and other art-related items. Many of the notebooks are Japanese or Korean brands with super smooth paper, and they even carry special pens like gel pens and brush markers. Blondie loves this shop for a few reasons. First, it genuinely sparks joy. Buying and using beautiful stationery makes her feel motivated to write and journal intentionally. Second, the owner is extremely knowledgeable and gives personalised recommendations. For example, she let Blondie try different fountain pen nibs on sample paper to avoid wasting money. Even when she doesn't buy anything, just browsing the shop and touching the paper feels oddly relaxing, almost like therapy. This shows how a simple shop can create a meaningful, personal experience. Blondie uses several expressions that truly make her answer natural and engaging. Consider beautifully curated. This phrase means carefully selected with taste. It's useful for describing shops, playlists, galleries, anything with a thoughtful selection. She also mentions a tiny life upgrade. This is a casual, conversational way to say that something small makes life feel better. Using phrases like this demonstrates your ability to express personal feelings naturally in English. The last expression I want to highlight is almost feels like therapy. Here, Blondie isn't just talking about the products. She's describing her emotions and experience. Using metaphors or feelings like this makes your answer richer and more memorable to the examiner. It is time to unpack some stationery terms that may be new to you. Gel pens. These pens have thicker, smoother ink than regular ballpoints. The colour comes out vibrant, which makes writing or journaling more satisfying. Fountain pen. A classic, elegant pen that uses liquid ink. It writes very smoothly and is often used for formal writing or calligraphy. Nib. The small metal tip of the fountain pen that actually touches the paper. The nib determines how the pen writes. Brush markers. Markers with tips that behave like a paintbrush. They're perfect for calligraphy, hand lettering, or art projects. Bleed through. This is when ink soaks through the page to the back side. Mentioning this shows attention to detail, which is a useful skill when describing products in Part 2. Using these nouns in your answer lets you be precise, shows knowledge, and makes your speaking more descriptive and engaging. You've now heard two very different shops, but both answers cover the cue card points beautifully. Remember, tell a story about a real place you go to, describe what it sells and where it is, and explain why you like it personally. Sprinkle in useful vocabulary and expressions to make your answer engaging and fluent. That's it for today's lesson. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.